Hey gang, Vince here, Vince's Wood and Wonders. Thanks so much for stopping into the shop. So we've got a maple bowl here that needs to be finished up. Spalt, got a little bit of spalt to it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish out the inside, as well as finish turning the outside, sand it up, and get it good to go. Let's get into it. Okay, so we've got the bowl on the lathe here. And the first thing I need to do, there we go. All right, a little bit of oil here. Give it a quick wipe down before I take my final or finishing cuts, just to help lay down or relax the grain. I find it's very helpful with regards to getting a decent final cut. I'm going to use a scraper for this. Raise this tool rest just a smidge. Pull this back. Part of the reason why I like using the oil, what I've found is, wait a minute. Oh, I have a friend. Somebody's trying to call me. I'll call him back. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but right here I have a small line. And that tells me that I have an indentation there that I otherwise would not have seen with the oil, which tells me I can go back over the surface to remove that line. And that's going to help give me a flat curve, if you will. The other nice thing with the oil is that it really helps keep the dust down. Everything's pretty well hitting the floor. So I'm okay with that surface here on the outside. And let's go ahead and get the outside sanded, and we'll go from there. I've been spending a lot more time wet sanding in the last year and a half than probably dry sanding. And I'm going to show you how I walk through this very simple process. I just use a little bit of liquid. Doesn't take much. And if you know me, I always suggest we start at 80 grit, which is what this disc is. 80 grit. And I've got the lathe spinning, I don't know, about 600 RPM. It's a little quick, but that's okay. We're going to work through this rather quickly. Maybe. Again, we're starting off Again, we're going to start off with a nice low grit, not because of any other reason than you almost have to. You start off with a good, firm sanding interface pad to give you the support to allow your lower grits to get in there and level out your surface. That is, remove any highs, even out any lows that you have in your surface. If you start with too soft of a pad or too high of a disc, you're doomed, because you will never be able to level out your playing surface or your sanding surface as you could have with a firm pad, low grit. It's just the way it is. Here we go. If ever you've caught me during a demo, giving a demo, you'll always hear me say that you're going to spend most of your time with your very first, maybe your second grit. From there on, the process speeds up rather quickly, and you're in and out pretty quick moving through the discs. We got a little bit of area here that I want to go over just to make sure. I think I'm in pretty good shape. As you can see, this disc, it's full. Why? Because we used the oil. But that's okay, because we're going to take some air clear the disc, and now we're back to square one. So let's go over it just a little bit more with the 80 grit to make sure that we've evened out our surface and removed any trouble spots that we might have. Fantastic. Now, I don't know if you were able to see, but most of the dust is not airborne. It's either gone into dust extraction or it's dropped to the lathe or to the ground. And that's another benefit of using a liquid when you are sanding. So yeah, I think we're in good shape. Also, the pressure that I applied, even though we're using the very first disc, pressure that we're applying is minimal at best. All I'm doing is letting the abrasive hit the material. So the disc is filled up again. Let's go ahead and clear that. Grit. We're going to slow our lathe down just a little bit. Start through the process. Throttle speed on the drill is maybe half throttle. I never run it wide open. As a result, these drills last me for years. I think we're in good shape. We've got a little bit of buildup, nothing like before with the 80 grit, but we're going to blow this off, we're going to blow the piece off, we're going to blow the drill out, continue right on. 120 grit. By the way, got it worked out. Going forward, as I acquire more BlueFlex discs, they're all going to be marked very clearly with their grit. 120, like this. Won't that be nice? Imagine every one of your BlueFlex discs are going to be marked with the grit. Outstanding. We're going to lower the speed of the lathe just a little bit. Continue on. So you'll notice I use the whole disc. I don't just use the edge and have it up on the edge. Never done that, never believed in that. Got the whole disc, 3 3/8. I'm using the whole disc, 3 3/8. Very little buildup, if any. Remember we oiled when we first got started? Used a little bit of liquid. We have no scratch marks, no deep scratch marks that need to come out. We've gotten those taken care of. Let's move on. Now, if you know my system, you know at 120 grit, we're done using the firm interface pad, but we're going to leave it on the backup pad, and all we're going to do is add a medium pad to continue on. All right, so this is an orange medium density radius pad. We're going to continue on. We use this for our medium grits, such as 150, 180, 220. That's what we've got. 150 disc right here. Center it up. We'll do better than that. There we go. Continue on. I'm going to lower the speed, the lathe speed just a little bit. Again, nice light touch. We're letting the abrasive do the work. We've got the drill up next to her body. Hopefully you're able to see the dust actually draw itself down to the bottom. And as the piece is coming, I can feel it pulling on the abrasive, wanting to pull it down. That's the resistance that you want with any abrasive that you're sanding with. That lets you know that you're actually sanding and not skidding and skating over the surface. So we've hit it with a 3-pass system, actually 3.5. We're good here. We've got a little bit of buildup that's going away. That's a 150. 180. A little bit of buildup on the 180. We're in good shape. Again, fresh abrasives makes the difference. If you're using discs that you've used before, you end up questioning how many more uses do I have out of the disc. That can be a tough call. If you're really questioning it, might be time to switch them out. It's important to blow off the piece, especially when you get into the higher grits, because you get into that finer dust. That finer dust will impregnate itself into the piece. Kind of get in the way of our sanding a little bit. We don't need it. Here's 220. Lathe spinning as slow as I can get it to spin here. Fine by me. Again, drill speed maybe half throttle at best. The dust that's coming off is almost like snowflakes. Just soft to the touch, soft to the feel. That's a lot of dust coming off with 220. And this thing is, it's not only smooth, but it's becoming soft to the touch. And at this point, all we're really doing is what I call clouding or fogging the piece. You know, we can go ahead and open up the lathe and have it spinning at 1,000 RPM and dust flying everywhere. But really, if you think about it, what you're doing more than anything is you're skating and skidding over the surface rather than actually sanding. And it's degrading the life of your abrasives. There's no need to do it. We're going to hit with 280. After the 220 disc, we're done using the medium density foam pad. From there, we're going to take on a very soft pad that's just going to collapse. It's really soft, and we're going to use this for any grit beyond 220. So that's 280, 320, 400, wherever we decide to stop. we're not going to need to go much farther with sanding this maple piece. But we'll hit it with 280 here. And you can see that with this soft pad, the disc is almost cradling, but it's actually conforming to the surface of the bowl, and I am not applying much pressure, if any. Just a real light touch. We've got a little bit of buildup. We're going to take care of that. Let's roll it. All right, air compressor's running in the back. I don't know if you can see this, how well you can see it from the camera, but yeah, we're in good shape here. Go ahead and hit that. Go over this with a little bit of 320 just for hoops and giggles. It's helpful to use your thumb to hold your Velcro when you pull your pad. That way you don't pull your Velcro and separate it from your foam. Especially if that Velcro gets heated, you start pulling on it, it will separate from the foam. It's just the nature of the business. 320. Look at all the surface that I used to cover that material. Nearly the full pad. Compressed air can really help in removing dust. It really can. So we finished sanding with 320. I'm going to go ahead and set this down because I think we're finished. I really don't see a need to go beyond that. I mean, not only is this smooth, but this surface is soft. And I'm going to call this done. From here, we're going to start working on the inside. So that's how I would go about sanding the outside of this bowl. And the next video, let's go ahead and we'll take out the inside, turn the inside, and sand it, finish off the bottom, and we'll call it good. Hey, thanks so much for checking in. I really appreciate it. You know, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at vinceswoodandwonders.com, or toll-free number is 877-284-8969. As always, let us know how we can help. Let me know how I can help in regards to your sanding needs. And thanks so much. We'll talk to you on the next one.